Let's talk about the other side of running a clothing brand, the negative. And honestly, the world needs some balance. Now, I know on TikTok, it looks like every 19-year-old clothing brand owner is living the life. They're having sold out drops. They're staying at the most luxurious hotels, traveling the world, and they've all band together to buy Jeep Trackhawks. But I'm here to tell you there are so many things that go on behind the scenes of running a clothing brand that if you are not a clothing brand owner, you have no idea the headaches that comes with running a clothing brand. So if you've been thinking about starting a clothing brand, or if you're at the beginning of your clothing brand journey, I'm really creating this video for you so you understand some of the things that you may have to deal with when it comes to running a clothing brand, because I feel like nobody talks about these things. Now, if you're new here, my name is Antonio. I own a clothing brand called Prayed Up Apparel. And honestly, this is my third clothing brand. My first clothing brand failed. I had no idea what I was doing. The second clothing brand I had did very, very well. But truthfully, God convicted me and wanted me to pivot. And so that's why I'm running a Christian streetwear clothing brand. And I've been running this clothing brand for about 8 months. I took all my experience from my other clothing brands, and this clothing brand is actually doing well, even though it's at its, I would say, infancy stage. And even within its infancy stage, people are already stealing my designs. And this is something that I'm starting to see a lot more of, unfortunately. And as a small clothing brand owner, this is extremely frustrating. And honestly, no matter what size your clothing brand is, this is frustrating. Let's be honest, okay? I feel like over the last couple of years, people have gotten really comfortable with just outright stealing people's design. And I don't know where this started. I know people have always created derivatives of people's designs. People see a design that's hot, they make their own, version on it. And even that is kind of but I get it. People need money right now. It's rough out here in these streets. But to the point to where people are just outright just straight up copying designs is crazy. I'm gonna put up on the screen my designs and the company that is just outright stealing my design. And again, as a small business owner, like, this is really, really hurtful. And so for me, this is my first time experiencing it. I've never had someone steal my designs before, but honestly, this is crazy. And so I feel like this has become, like I said, a lot more prevalent in the space. Now, if you haven't done this already, you want to make sure that you register the copyright of your designs. All of them, okay? Make sure that you register them. I think you could just go online. If I can find the form and the website, I'll send it to you. Now, technically, you do have a copyright once you create the design. The file timestamp is technically good enough, but don't quote me on this because I'm not a copyright lawyer. So definitely consult a lawyer, but you definitely want to make sure that you register it, because it just makes it easier for you to sue somebody if someone infringes on your copyright. So you definitely want to make sure that you register all your designs. I think it's like $45 or $65 if you do like a collection, but make sure that you do it, because now people have like no chill. If they see that your design is working and you're getting a lot of, impressions and awareness on it, people are going to try to steal it. Sometimes just outright, especially companies like Shein, they have no chill. They will steal your stuff. So make sure that you do your due diligence and get your stuff registered, and get all your copyright information intact. The second pain point that I've always had is manufacturing. Trying to find a good manufacturer, I feel like shouldn't be that difficult, okay? But it honestly feels like trying to find a needle in the haystack. Now, I've tried multiple ways of manufacturing my brand. I've gone the cost-efficient route with going through Alibaba, trying to find manufacturers in like Pakistan, China, stuff like that. But every time I've gone that route, I'll get a sample made. The sample comes back. The sample is fire, right? The sample is always A1. I feel like they take their time with that sample. But whenever you go to order the bulk, even if you do 50 or 100 shirts, I always feel like I have, 10%, 20% of the shirts are somewhat off. The sizing may be off. Maybe a tag is missing, or there could be like a slight stain on the shirt, like just something, visibly noticeable. So I'm like, dang, man. And then trying to get your money back and all that is always a headache. And then sometimes shipping takes forever. It could take, 8 to 12 weeks to get your shirts back. Like, I've had nothing but headaches when it comes to trying to find manufacturers through Alibaba. Now, I know some friends that have had nothing but success. And honestly, if you're trying to go the most cost-efficient route, you can get some really, really great deals ordering in bulk. However, what I've decided to do is go local. And even local, sometimes you have issues. But the good thing about going local and working with local screen printers is that if you do have issues with your garments, you can validate and look over the garments before you receive them. And if you have any issues, 9 times out of 10, they'll honor it and replace the garment for you. For me personally, manufacturing has been such a pain. I just don't know why there's so many issues with manufacturing, but it is what it is. The third pain point I want to talk about is unmet expectations. And for a lot of people, this is worse than people stealing your designs, manufacturing issues, chargebacks, all that stuff combined. Okay, a lot of people can deal with that stuff happening, but not meeting their sales goals or the expectations that they had with running a clothing brand cripples a lot of people mentally. And I think it just all comes from unrealistic expectations in the first place. Again, I know social media glorifies being a business owner and, entrepreneurship as a whole, but running a business, running a clothing brand is really, really hard, no matter what it looks like on social media, okay? And I don't think people realize how many skill sets you need to be a successful clothing brand owner, okay? You need to know designs and styles and trends. And if you're not a graphic designer and you can't create them, then you need to pay somebody to create these designs. And then on top of that, you need to understand marketing. How are you going to get your t-shirts, or clothing brand in front of people? What is your unique selling proposition? What marketing channel are you going to use? Are you going to use social media? Are you going to use paid ads, Google ads, right? Are you going to focus on email marketing? What is your marketing channel? And then when it comes down to your Shopify store, do you even know how to build a website? Do you understand SEO? There's so many things that comes with running a clothing brand that people just don't even think about and don't even have the skill sets to do, that they find out and they start to get really discouraged and they just quit. But I'm here to tell you that if you just keep going, you will see success if you spend time developing these skills or you start making enough money to hire out. Just because you have a couple of failed drops doesn't mean it is the end of the world and you won't have a successful brand. It's just going to take a little bit longer for you to figure out your customer base and the products and styles that they like. Now, if you want to learn how I was able to make over $190,000 with my clothing brand in just 6 months, definitely check out this video right here.